Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Brody, and welcome back to the Broadcast Network. And today I am speaking on something that hits a little close to home to me, and that's one of my favorite basketball players in the NBA right now, Ja Morant, who, like I'm sure everybody has seen, has recently been suspended by the Memphis Grizzlies for flashing a gun on his Instagram story while being at a club in Colorado. However, this is like the one of several offenses, including him fighting and beating up a 17-year-old at his house and pulling out the strap on him, having an altercation at the mall and defending his mother in an argument where he's alleged to have pulled out the strap then as well, and then also pulling out, there's an accusation of having a red beam flashing at the Indiana Pacers travel party, so where he was in the car whenever it was alleged to have happened as well. And so I felt like this was something to speak about because I've heard literally everybody speak on this. I've heard many different opinions, many different views from, hey, he's trying to portray himself as a fake gangster because, you know, he grew up in a good household, whatever the case might be, to him having a mental issue where now he's expressing himself in ways that is considered toxic or unhealthy or thug life, or thug-like, if you will. And I think that a big thing that people aren't speaking about that I do think is really important is the effects of social media on the young mind, but the social media on the young black mind. And I'll explain why. So with social media, with the avid increase of social media and everybody hopping on it, a lot of times now we're so much closer to the people that we love. So, for instance, you know, rappers like NBA Youngboy. NBA Youngboy is probably one of the most popular rappers on the planet, but most people don't really know much about him. They don't know much about his music in terms of the mainstream audience, but the people that know about him that are in that world, they love him. He's almost like this he really is like this generation's Tupac, where the music that he makes, the influence that he has, is so rapid around not only just black culture, but even into white culture and even Hispanic culture and all other types of cultures. And the thing about Youngboy, NBA Youngboy, that people really don't talk about enough, and well, I think people talk about it enough, however, they don't really emphasize that in terms of his influence, is how real he is. And when I say real, typically when we talk about rappers, we've fallen into the trap of, okay, you know, they're living this life, they're portraying themselves to live this life. But with Instagram and social media now, we can actually see, hey, some of these dudes really are living this life, you know, where they're rapping songs about killing their ops homies, you know what I'm saying? Or committing crimes, murders, legitimate murders in real life. And that influence has rubbed off on so many people. And, you know, it goes far beyond just Ja Morant. It goes into the idea that, hey, we need to start training people to not think about social media as gospel and really understand that being real and being a real nigga, as people would say, isn't about how many people you killed, how many people you beat up, how many people you pulled the strap out on. But in reality, it's really about how well are you providing for your family? How well are you laying that example for somebody to come behind you and take what you did and make it better? When are we going to start really emphasizing that amongst our children and really emphasizing that social media is not gospel and social media is nothing more than entertainment? When are we going to start doing that? And for me, I think that is the trap that Ja Morant has fallen into. From doing the things that he's did, pulling the strap out and fighting and doing all these other sorts of things, that very well could be a part of his personality, and that could be a trigger within his personality. But for him to get the backlash and him to get the ridicule that he got, to then go to Instagram Live and say, hey, I'm going to pull out a strap, I'm going to have it showcased. Not only am I going to have it showcased at a strip club where I'm drunk, I got my shirt off, I'm partying, but in another city where it's almost as if he's saying, hey, I feel like I had to take this gun everywhere because I had to portray myself like a real nigga because that's what everybody wants. And to me, that That is the bigger issue here. And that's where I see the mental issue coming in, where you have these young minds where, yeah, they may have been raised in a good two-parent household, sure, where they didn't need for anything and they lived this life where it was perfect, to what people think a good upbringing is. However, they fall into these traps. They fall into these tropes. I myself have been a victim of the same thing, where I at one point felt myself doing things that were out of my character, wanting to get involved in a life that wasn't in my person. It wasn't in my nature. However, for me, I had to take a step back and I had to say, yo, this social media stuff is not real. How people look at me and perceive me, that's how they gonna perceive me, no matter what it is that I do. Whether I go out and pistol whip a motherfucker, or if I go out and win a Pulitzer Prize, it doesn't matter. I have to look at myself as real first and know that my realness isn't me being soft. It isn't me being this Uncle Tom, whatever the case, whatever you as yourself proclaim to make you real. I had to take a step back and say, no, me being a real nigga is me living my life to the way that I want it to live, in a way that's safe and healthy and beneficial for the people around me. Because at the end of the day, we could call people real, we could call people hard, we can call people tough, but when you 6 feet in that ground, when you dead, when somebody puts you in that ground, it don't matter how real you are, you still a dead nigga at the end of the day. And that's how you gonna be looked at. Yeah, sure, you gonna be remembered. I love Dolph. I love young Dolph. I remember him. I feel like he's somebody that I love his music, and his death, it hit me. Same thing with Nipsey Hussle. Their deaths, they hit me in a place that hurt me, because they were special figures in my heart. But at the end of the day, I knew those aren't the type of people that I am. Those aren't the type of people that I hung around growing up. So that, yeah, they may be real to me in certain ways, but in other ways, nah. They were in the streets. They did things that to a certain degree may have added and contributed to their own demise. And at some point, we had to take a look back at it, because there's been plenty of rappers over the years, from Tupac to Biggie to Young Dolph and Nipsey, like I just spoke on, Pop Smoke, all these great young black minds. Because, Nipsey and Young Dolph were the older end of the spectrum for this, but Pop Smoke was like 21 years old. Tupac was only 24, 25. Biggie was only 24, 25. And if we're going to start looking at people for being real, we need to start appreciating that being a real nigga isn't about what you do in the streets, but it's about how you live your life, and how beneficial that is to the people around you, and to striving for bigger goals. So to Ja Morant, I say, look, man, I think that you need to take a step back and really understand who you are as a person, where you come from as a person, and the blessings that you've gotten from God to be able to provide for your family. Because there are millions of people around the world that would kill for the opportunity that you have. Don't piss it away because you want to be a real nigga. Fuck being a real nigga. Be you, Ja. Be you. That's all it's about, is being you. And I pray to God that you have the ability to do that, and you have the ability to clear your name of all this foolishness, and you can feel that security and that comfort however and wherever that may be in life, because you have an opportunity not only to change your family and create generational wealth for yourself, but you also have the ability to influence millions of children. I myself is an Allen Iverson baby. Allen Iverson is my favorite athlete of all time. I love Allen Iverson with a passion. If anybody, I will not accept or allow any Allen Iverson slander when I'm around. But at the end of the day, I understand that the things that Allen Iverson did, some of the things that he did, and some of the people that was around him, they weren't good for him. They weren't the people that he should have had around. And we saw that throughout his career, where things would happen, he would get in trouble, people around him would get in trouble, and whatnot. And although it may have made him a cultural icon on the court in terms of what it was for him to be real, and on that basketball court being the best, it took away from his legacy. He did not get to see all the opportunities that Allen Iverson truly deserved as a basketball player because of all his transgressions. And Ja, I pray that you don't fall into that and you are able to live your life and do the things that you want to do. And that starts by getting the right people around you. Get security. If you're scared about going out and doing this and that, whether it's in Memphis, Colorado, wherever it's at, get you some security. Get you a higher security where they're the ones holding the straps and you're not the one that's responsible for it. If you find yourself in an area where you have friends and you don't know how to, tell your friends, hey man, I can't be around you anymore. Just comfortably and just ghost them. I mean, that's the easiest thing to do, is just kind of ghost them, because you're $1 million man. If you don't want somebody around, they don't have to be around. So, Ja, I'm praying for you and I'm hoping the best, and I hope that you learn from this situation, because as a young black man, I don't want to see you fall. I don't want to see you fail. And I would hate for you to get sucked into this trap so much that you find yourself dead and you aren't able to provide that sort of financial freedom that I want you and your family to have. Plain and simple as that, man. So please, y'all, I'm praying for you. Get the help that you need. And yeah, it's the Broadcast Network, and I'm out. It's your boy Brody. I'll catch y'all later. Peace and love, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the Broadcast Network. It's your boy Brody. Like, subscribe to the video. Thank you.